Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie, and this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video. Or if you listen to us on a podcasting platform, you know what to do. Go leave us a review. 5 stars will be the best, but whatever you think we deserve. And Lottie, we're in the midst of a pretty good superhero run right now. We got My Adventure with Superman. The Boys starts next week, and of course, right over the horizon.
Shit, really?
Yes, really. The Boys starts next week, and right over the horizon in July, we got Deadpool and Wolverine. So. Really cool time. But either way, Lottie, how you doing, man? And what you been up to that's nerdy?
Oh man, I started playing video games a lot more again. I took a little break from playing Helldivers, and I think I'm gonna start playing a lot more single player games. Right now, I'm trying to beat the God of War DLC, and I told myself that I'm gonna start playing some of the the PS4 PlayStation exclusive again. Because those are some of the best games that I've played in a very long time, and it's been so long since I played it. Like, good example, I haven't played Days Gone in since 2019, so it'll be almost like playing it all over again, like fresh. Same thing as Ghost. Some of these games that I'm just like, damn, I haven't picked up in a long time. Let me play them again and re-experience them. Because right now there's like a lull in single player games coming out. So why not play the ones that I already bought? You know what I mean? Instead of trying to buy new games that may not be good.
Yeah. Well, on my end, I think I told you, my daughter and I finished watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, so we started on Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I've already seen it. She hasn't. She's into it, which I will reiterate, and I'll continue to sing to the heavens that it's a great show that everyone should check out, especially if you like Marvel Comics. Also, rewatch Black Panther. Lottie, would you be surprised to know that it's still a fucking excellent movie? It's so great. It still is, and I just like still great years and years later.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's worth revisiting if you haven't watched it recently. Also, I've been playing a little bit of video games. I've been playing Multiverses. The beta was ended last year. They took a year to fix it up. Now it's out in full release. It's free to play, but it's a grind set. Let me just say it's a grind. So if you like, platform fighters, competitive fighters, it's fun, but you're going to have to spend money if you want the full roster or grind like a motherfucker to get stuff. I'm a little more casual with it, but it's pretty fun. I got to say, they've got a nice little single player bit in there that's actually reasonably fun to play. Especially if you like the Warner Brothers characters. So, definitely check that out. If y'all want to see me and play some, matches, it should be WWT MASK, my username. You can check me out there. So, that being said, this is the Supercast. We are going to, talk about superhero news. In particular, we have... I'm going to briefly talk about the Umbrella Season 4 trailer that came out. There is a new person cast in the Superman movie. X-Men gets a writer. Chris Miller of Lord & Miller talks about AI and Spider-Verse. We're going to talk about that popcorn bucket, and you know the one I'm talking about. Anson Mount gives a comment on his appearance in the next Avengers movie. There's rumors about Jordan Peele and Marvel. Also, it appears to be confirmed or something like that Shawn Levy has been approached by Marvel to direct another Marvel movie. Which one is that? And Tom Hardy talks about the Sony Spider-Verse. And then we're going to review the Venom 3 trailer, the crazy trailer that came out a few days ago. So Lottie, you ready to go, man?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get to it. So this is real quick. This is just me because Lottie doesn't watch Umbrella Academy, but this is a superhero thing that I'm really into, and hopefully, summer, you guys are into this also. That's Umbrella Academy, based on a comic book, a Dark Horse comic book from like, gosh, at this point it's probably 15 years ago. I want to say maybe a little more. Actually, yeah, probably about 15 to 17 years ago. Very much like Doom Patrol, in the sense that it's some quirky characters with doing weird stuff, going on weird ass adventures. They in the Netflix show, they've gone to the past, they've gone to the future. They've dealt with rifts in time. They have a character who's an old man, but it's in the body of 14-year-old. It's a nutty show, and I love it. But the fourth season was announced. The fourth and final season was announced, but we finally got the trailer for it. And let me tell you, it's everything that you should expect from an Umbrella Academy. It's just some weird shit and a cast of characters. Lottie, I don't know if you've seen many Tarantino movies, but you know how Tarantino movies, the characters, they'll get into these conversations and it's like a segue away from whatever is happening, but it feels like a group of people that know each other and they're just going back and forth and bantering and all that other stuff. That's sort of the feel of this, but also a lot of weird sci-fi shit's going on in it. They're in an alternate timeline. Their formerly deceased father is actually alive now in this timeline. The world's weird, and they may even be in the past at this point. It's not really determinate yet, but they got to save the world once again and find out, I guess the real timeline. I think it looks pretty cool, and it's coming out on August 8th. So, you guys go check out that trailer and get ready for this. And Lottie, you got 3 seasons to watch, man. I feel like you can do it by August 8th. Yeah, anyway, and we'll move on. And I actually, as just a quick aside, also apparently there's a Sweet Tooth season 3 trailer, which is also a comic book related thing. So I'm going to check that out, let you guys know all about that too. Let's talk Superman very briefly. Lottie, I know this is a hugely important bit of casting news to you. Possibly your favorite character in all of DC has been cast. And that is Beck Bennett. He's from Saturday Night Live, has been cast as the wonderful Steve Lombard, aka that douchebag reporter from the Daily Planet. That I'm just like, I want to slap in My Adventures with Superman. Big blowhard, apparently, at least in the cartoon. Is he that way in live action? We'll see, but Beck Bennett plays a pretty good douche, I have to say. So, Lottie, my friend, your favorite character's been cast, man. How you feeling?
That is a stretch. My favorite character, that is a 1000% stretch. He's at best a character I tolerate. Beck Bennett.
Well, Steve Lombard, look at it this way. You know how Clark is supposed to act around the Daily Planet, right? Isn't Steve Lombard essentially the polar opposite of who Clark Kent is? Basically, it seems to me like that's true. And so, if he's going to be a professional foil for Clark Kent, you got to get somebody that can really do that shit. And and also be kind of a comedic. Obviously this dude's going to be the fucking butt of a joke or something like that. So I think this is, cool. Good for him. Good, move on up. I didn't know we were going to get this guy in this movie, but hey, let's have at it. Hopefully, Clark will be petty and use his super breath to blow his coffee into his face or something.
You know that's not happening. You know that ain't happening.
He wishes, or maybe he'll overheat his coffee so it's too hot when he takes a sip of it. See, he can be. Look, let's let Clark saves cats from being up in trees and walks little ladies across the freeway. Can't he just be petty for a second? Just a second. Anyway, I'm sure we'll keep an eye on this, and if we get some pictures or behind the scenes, we'll let you guys know. So moving on to Marvel, Lottie, another quick bit of news. X-Men apparently has a writer now. No director, but a writer. And it is Michael Lesslie. And you might be asking yourself, who is Michael Lesslie? And that's a damn good question. I didn't know this until I looked him up. Maybe he wrote plays or something, I guess. But he does have some screenwriting credits. He wrote 4 episodes for a BBC crime thriller thing. I forget what it's called, but it's a crime show for BBC. He wrote a screen adaptation of Macbeth that starred Michael Fassbender. He's apparently has written. He wrote the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the latest Hunger Games. That my daughter liked it. Apparently, people liked it. And he apparently also wrote an upcoming Hamlet movie. But Lottie, the one I wanted to focus on is he also wrote Assassin's Creed, the movie, which I have not seen, and I probably won't because I heard it's garbage. But he wrote that. So Lottie, are you feeling confident about X-Men now that you know this guy's limited screenwriting credits?
No. I have. It sounds disgusting. I'm just gonna be just honest. It sounds disgusting. I'm trying not to be mean. That movie sucked, man. Like, Assassin's Creed is one of those game franchises that you just can't understand how you can make a bad movie out of. But somehow, I'm really trying my hardest to be nice about it because that movie legit sucked.
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge. But I've never heard anything good about it. I've only heard bad about it. Now, on the other hand, the most recent Hunger Games did pretty well. I mean, I think it broke even at the box office, just because it cost so much to make. But that says something, because if it cost a lot to make and it still broke even, it made at least $550-600 million. That's good. It's pretty good and by all accounts, again, this is basically going on what my daughter said. She enjoyed the story. So, I mean, he's got a W right there. Right after that L of Assassin's Creed.
Massive L.
Unfortunately, this is so early days. I can't pass any judgment about this, aside from saying that this happened. There's forward movement on X-Men, so I guess we should be happy. But I think we're just going to keep an eye out on this and see, what comes out of it, and hopefully a good X-Men movie. But we'll let you guys know all about it when we get more information. All right, so Lottie, I know you saw this because I know you like Sony. I know you like Sony Computer Entertainment, but also you follow them in general. So I'm sure you saw this, but I want to say the president or something of Sony, like the film division or something, was like, yeah, we're going to use AI to help streamline our production pipeline and get more stuff, get stuff made faster and more efficiently. Which, I mean, talk about a motherfucker stepping onto a fire ant hill. Like, I feel like that's exactly, he was walking in a field and then stood still for a second and then looked down and saw he was in a fire ant hill. Because that's the only way an executive could say AI and act like he said something good. Or at least for consumers, like at least for fans. I mean, if he said that to shareholders, they were like, "Yay, AI, whatever the fuck that means." But for us, that's those fighting words. I mean, Lottie, do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see this?
Listen, at this point, I'm gonna just be honest. I feel it's not just this guy. I feel like every single CEO has said something about AI to some point, and I just don't understand why they think people like to hear that shit. And I always say this whenever it comes to stuff with like consumers and everything. Why do they're like, oh, they gotta say it to get their shareholders and all that? Do their shareholders give them make them money for the company? Because as soon as they lose money, guess what those shareholders do? They bounce. Stop. Let AI. Like I've already said, it's a bubble, and the bubble's going to pop, and that bubble's going to pop maybe sometime this year, or I mean, sometime the end of this year or the beginning of the next. Because there's just no point of it. It's like you just said. I'm sure Sony's pictures stocks fell as soon as that man said, "Oh, AI," because you guess what? People are like, "What?" It's just like you said. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's a bubble because, like it or not, generative AI is here, and it is honestly getting better.
But
the more it's used, the better it gets.
So here's my reason why it's a bubble. I'm gonna tell you exactly why it's the reason why it's a bubble. Because AI is getting extremely expensive.
Yeah.
It's not being talked about. It is like, do you know how much it costs for those AI machines are now? You know how much NVIDIA and AMD are charging for them things? NVIDIA just had their Computex. One AI machine, guess how much it cost? Just one.
How much?
$6 million.
That thing had better,
that
thing had better transform like motherfucking Optimus Prime.
You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. Everybody who talks about AI, they're like, AI is going to take over. They're not realizing that the companies that are making this AI shit, they're not giving the shit away for free anymore. That people don't know. ChatGPT, like, you know why ChatGPT is the way it is? It's because it was literally warning at a loss. ChatGPT was not making any money for years. They were operating at an absolute loss. Guess what? ChatGPT, starting next year, has become a full subscription service. If you want to use ChatGPT, I think it's like they said it's going to be like $20-$30 a month. It's coming. That's why I said the bubble's coming, man, because they're going to start charging a lot of money for this shit, and then people are going to be like, you know what? I could literally hire like 20 people for the price of what this AI is going to do for me.
Yeah. Well, I still I think as it gets better and better, the reasoning for
I'm not saying it won't be. I'm not saying it will not. I'm not saying it will not be in the I'm not saying it will it will not be in the industry. I'm just saying what people are saying, that it's going to take over jobs, and people are not. That's never going to happen, because AI is just, because like I said, AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, Apple, Samsung, all these people that make this shit is not giving that shit away for free no more. They're charging out the ass for it now. So
they want corporate customers that got deep pockets, and it sounds like Sony's getting on the train. Which is kind of why we kind of wanted to talk about it, because Chris Miller of Lord and Miller, who are spearheading the Spider-Verse, animated series, he says, no, we're never going to use AI. No matter what the president of Sony Pictures says, we're not using AI on Spider-Verse ever. So he's taking a stand against AI. Now, I'll argue it's not. It may be principled, but I think it's more practical than principled. Mainly because, do you know how useless generative AI is outside of generating single pictures or maybe even a
Yeah.
a single purpose scene, because they do have an AI that makes movies. It cannot make a full movie. It can make, like, they just had a little South Park episode that some AI made. But imagine doing that and keeping the consistency of characters and looks over the course of 1.5 2 hours. AI can't quite do that. They can't really do that yet. So practically speaking, it's aside from maybe mocking up some concept art or aping the style of an artist so that you can make some character designs, it's kind of useless. It's not useful in the animation process because it's not just iterative. Things change easily, and also it requires, I think, they want Miles Morales not to have 17 fingers and his hair to look like all jank when he's walking around. And the generative AI can approximate, and it gets better, but it's not perfect. Not even it's not even just like basic. It's just like it's all right if you're not paying too much attention.
Yeah.
So practically speaking, it would be fucking useless on Spider-Verse, which is such an artistically driven project. There's a lot of artistry involved in the making of those movies that require human hands, that require human minds. They have literally hundreds of people who are bringing this together, and there is not a generative AI anywhere on the planet that can make Spider-Verse. Absolutely not.
No.
So, practically speaking, of course, fuck AI. It's not useful. It's not going to help anything. And also, no. I think, practically speaking, he doesn't want to alienate the art houses, the VFX houses that are making these movies. So, of course, he's going to they're against AI. So, of course, he's going to be against AI. So, yeah. I mean, Lottie, I feel like I covered that.
You did. I mean, I just wish whenever this whole the topic of AI when it comes up, I just think that people are looking at it as too much of a doom and gloom scenario, and they're not thinking of it as a more nuanced thing. It's everything has a bubble. Everything has a bubble. It's eventually it will pop. And I'm not saying AI will not have its place, but to think AI is going to just dominate things and take over everything, that's not going to happen. There will be some things that will never be the same again because of AI. You know what I mean? That's just unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. But just to think that for these executives to come up here and say we're going to have AI and this and AI and that, bro, shut up. No one cares, bro. No one cares that you're going to use AI. And I'm 100% sure just your studios, all that won't want to say it. And this is why sometimes they tell people why doesn't the video game part of Sony run Sony? Because that have you heard the executive of PlayStation say, "Yep, we're going to use AI in game creation"? No, that man has kept his mouth shut about that shit. Because you know why?
I mean, they're doing it, but they're not going to talk about it.
Exactly. They're going to use AI in practical senses, like for example, upscalers and frame generation, all that stuff. That makes 100% sense because having people constantly patch games and all that stuff, but having AI do it, that makes sense. But to have it that an AI makes a game or makes a movie, come on, man, shut up.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But you know what? Good on Chris Miller. Makes sense to me. And I guess get back to cracking the whip on those guys making Beyond the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. So anyway, more AI talk. We'll let you guys know what it's all about. Lottie, it's that time. So hide your kids, hide your wife, because we got to talk about something nasty. Ryan Reynolds debuted the Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket At least the one that AMC is going to put out. And first of all, Ryan Reynolds is fucking marketing genius, or at least if somebody else is feeding him ideas, good for him. But like, he's the smartest motherfucker in the room. Like, once that Dune viral popcorn bucket became a thing, and he said, you can't wait till you see our popcorn bucket, I knew we were in for a treat. And yeah, if you are a thirsty for Wolverine sort of person, this is the bucket for you, man. Literally, Wolverine is literally a popcorn bucket. But not in the like you would think it would be like a cowl or something like that. And like the eye, nope. If you see on the screen here, I'll put the picture up. He looks like a fucking sex doll on top of a popcorn bucket. And what's more hilarious is the little preview thing. It's got like Deadpool's hand and everything, and they're throwing, he's caressing the face and everything, and then throws popcorn into the big wide mouth of the Wolverine face, and then at the end it dribbles butter down the face
of Wolverine.
And all I could think was, God damn, you guys are evil geniuses, because you know what the memes are. I've already started to see the memes where, like, on the picture from what was it, from X-Men 97, when Wolverine's getting the adamantium pulled out of him, they put the face of the popcorn bucket over his face. And I'm like,
I mean, they've been hyping this up because they've been making he's been making sexual jokes about Wolverine for a while. Like, in the first movie, that man said, "What balls you think I had to fondle to get this movie?" It rhymes with Wolverine.
Oh, Lottie, I don't know about you. I'm getting this bitch if I can help it. If I got the money and I got the ability to get it, because I mean, come on, like, look.
They're turning the junk into collector's item.
But it makes, like, this is so fucking smart though. Like, Lottie, come on, this is smart. This is one.
I agree.
Why? I mean, if you have that, it's a conversation piece. People are going to be posting pictures of themselves with, in the theater with the popcorn bucket, and it's got like oil all over it or something like that. It's going to be crazy. That's Lottie, did they go too far though?
No. It's Deadpool. I would be concerned if they didn't go far enough. We gotta recognize who we're talking about.
This is just killing me, and I loved all the reactions from people online about it. Like, all of the websites, of course, obviously, were talking about it. All of the people on social media are talking about it. It is Deadpool. Like, I'm just trying to figure out a dad or a mom buying that thing at the theater and then bringing it home, and their kids are like, "What is?" It's like, "Oh, it's a new Wolverine popcorn bucket. Why does it look like that?"
Oh yeah, because I was about to say, I was like, it's rated R, but you're bringing it home.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, like, I'm talking about responsible parents, not the ones that are going to have their 6-year-old at Deadpool. Or, which I think is even funnier, somebody's going to get, they're going to get a blow-up doll and just strap that to the face of the blow-up doll.
Oh my God.
And wait a minute, even funnier, if someone doesn't do this, internet, you're failing me, they're going to do the dick in the box thing with the Wolverine popcorn bucket. It's coming, like, literally coming. All of these memes and stuff. So, like, God damn it, it's just smart. I mean, how people already want to see this movie. Now you're adding on some kind of meme or viral meme aspect to this too.
Mhm.
I mean, could be a $1 billion film. If it's good, could be a $1 billion film. We'll see. So anyway, I don't know about you. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get this popcorn bucket if I can. I mean, you got to, but if you can, you guys, I hope you can. Good luck on that, and let us know. I guess if you are, even intending to try to get it. So anyway, moving on to more PG subjects. Just a little bit of debunking that Anson Mount had to do. Anson Mount, if you are a Star Trek fan, he's most recently has been Captain Pike on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. But a couple summers ago, we actually saw him get destroyed by Wanda Maximoff in Multiverse of Madness, where he played Black Bolt. Of course, he was Black Bolt in the ill-fated Inhuman series that nobody liked, but he reprised his role for, Multiverse of Madness, and wherein he blew his own head up. So, but somebody was posting on Twitter, I guess, or X or whatever the fuck it's called, a rumor that Anson Mount was going to make his return as Black Bolt in Avengers Secret Wars, which, as you know, it's like years away from now. And he got on there and was like, oh, well, I wonder where this contract is that I apparently signed in my sleep. So, like, he's like, just don't be paying attention to these, clickbait sites. Like, I'm not going to be in it, basically. So, Lottie, there you go. Your hopes and dreams for a return of Anson Mount as Black Bolt have been dashed on the rocks of, reality. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I didn't care for Black Bolt when he died, and it just it was one of those things that it's like, okay. I mean, I don't believe him, but okay.
The thing is, I do believe him because that movie is years away from it's 2024 now. You know when the next Avengers is supposed to come out? 2 years from now. That's not even the one we're not talking about Secret Wars. We're talking about Avengers 5. 2 years from now.
Avengers Secret War. Yeah, Secret War might come out when I'm 35.
Yeah, I mean,
like 2028.
The way I'm looking at it is they are going to start, filming Avengers 5 next year. With the hopes of coming out sometime in 2026. So Secret Wars probably isn't going to start filming until, 27. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like this, I don't think he's lying. They haven't even gotten the fucking story for Secret Wars down yet. It's not written. They have.
I don't even know. Are we even sure that it's going to be called Secret Wars at this point?
Well, I think it will be. But remember, because they were talking about maybe making it 2 movies. But like, it's so far ahead. They haven't started pre-production. There's nobody cast. There's no director. The script's not done. They don't have a writer, actually they do have a writer. I think it's Michael Waldron is the writer, but he's not done. I guarantee you, the man's not done with it because they haven't finished sorting out what the fuck's going on with Avengers 5. So you get what I'm saying? Like there's this is so far in advance. He could show up in the movie, but there's no way they've settled that yet. So like he's telling the truth, but he could still show up in it. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, he's right. Don't listen to clickbait sites. But we will, because we're going to keep talking about these little rumors because they're interesting. So anyway, moving on. Another rumor, and this is an interesting one. Lottie, I saw a rumor on Threads about Jordan. Actually, it wasn't even Thread. I think it was a little more, not Deadline. It was maybe, was this Culture Crate, whatever. A site said that Jordan Peele apparently took a meeting or has met with Marvel about possibly directing a Marvel film. Now, the first question is this legit? But the second one is, let's say it is legit. What do we want to see him direct?
Moon
So
Knight.
Lottie, a Moon Knight movie?
Moon Knight
I don't think they'll do that one.
or. Hear me out. Hear me the fuck out. Blade.
They already have a director
Yes. I don't care.
though.
I don't care. Blade 2, damn it. It has to have something with horror in it because that's what he's good at. He's good at horror. If you're going to do it, it can't be anything else but horror. That's his. He's somehow able to mix comedy and horror, and usually what that is good with is superheroes. So if I'm going to use him, it's either Moon Knight, Blade, or what's another very popular horror?
From Marvel, there basically isn't it one. You could do Midnight Suns, which is just an amalgamation of a bunch of different, occult or supernatural characters. Like, basically, Werewolf by Night was close to being a Midnight Sun in the sense of what it was doing. Was close to a Midnight Suns thing because it had Elsa Bloodstone in it, and Man Thing, and what's his name, Jack Russell. Because traditionally, Midnight Suns though has been like Doctor Strange, Blade, Doctor Voodoo, or Doctor Voodoo, stuff like that. Someone did say Brother Voodoo or Doctor Voodoo. I said X-Men because I feel like it's true. Yes, he does horror and thrillers and stuff like that. With black people, focuses on black people. And he does that well. But I feel like it's time for him to break out of that, kind of that typecasting as a director and to do something that's not that, And doing X-Men would be a pretty big departure from his usual style, but would also, because of the subject matter, would allow him to also tell the sort of stories he normally does tell, which, focus a lot on, sort of social injustice or discrimination, that sort of, the experience of minorities. So I think X-Men's a pretty good way to do that while also not being kind of typecast into like, only making a certain kind of movie. So I say, give him something different. If he has to do horror, Blade's a good one, I suppose. But I feel like there are other places he could go, horror wise. Hell, even the X-Men have horror related, storylines. So I don't know. What do you think about the X-Men one?
That sounds pretty. That actually doesn't sound bad. I can see him doing the X-Men. I just know Jordan Peele is a great director. Everything that I've seen him do, I've liked. I think sometimes I think his last movie, Nope, is very, very, very misunderstood because unlike the other ones that he's done, Nope was a little bit more difficult to understand. But yeah, seeing Jordan Peele to direct some Marvel movies, I would definitely be open to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a talented director. Obviously, he knows what he's about, and he's made hits. So they'd be crazy not to consider him. So we'll keep an eye on that, and if any news comes out about it, we'll let you guys know all about it. So speaking of directing, Shawn Levy, who is the director of Deadpool and Wolverine, good friends with Ryan Reynolds. His star is shining pretty brightly right now in Hollywood. He directed Free Guy, which I loved Free Guy. I thought Free Guy was awesome. He also directed the Adam Project. That was pretty good. I liked it for Netflix. So he's done 3 Ryan Reynolds things basically in a row, and great working relationship with Ryan Reynolds. Which let me tell you, that's a pretty good calling card, because as far as I can tell, Kevin Feige loves him some Ryan Reynolds. I mean, is that a fair thing to say, Lottie? It seems to me like that's true. Kevin Feige loves him some Ryan Reynolds. He loves working with him. I think he sees like a big success coming in the form of Deadpool and Wolverine. And Shawn Levy's a big part of that. So naturally, it makes sense that they would look to him again to maybe direct something else in the Marvel Universe. Like, and this is, look, this is a lot more than this whole, Jordan Peele thing. This is basically confirmed that they're looking to him to direct the next Avengers, Avengers 5. And this is reported by Deadline. So this isn't like, some rando clickbait site or whatever. Deadline says this, that they're working, they want to approach him about being the director of Avengers 5. So, Lottie, first of all, how do you feel about this? And do you feel like he's a good pick for the role?
Honestly, I don't even really know what Avengers 5 is supposed to be at this point.
Well, it was Kang Dynasty, but now it's not Kang Dynasty.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't really make a judgment because I don't even know what the movie's going to be about at this point. So I mean, he's done. I mean, he's done a really good job. I can't wait to see his this upcoming movie. Just, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's just because I honestly don't even know what the movie will be about. I don't know if the main villain is going to be Doctor Doom or Kang is going to get one shot by people. I'm just, I almost have to. I feel like we have to at least know the synopsis of what the next movie is going to be about before we can even talk about it, because the next Avenger movie still feels like it feels strange that it's coming out. You know what I mean?
Right. That it's
just
so indeterminate at the moment. We used to know for sure what it was about, and now we don't know anything because of various circumstances. Look, as far as I'm concerned, Shawn Levy has proven his ability. Free Guy was great. Lottie, did you see Free Guy?
Yeah, I love Free Guy.
So yeah, the way he handled Free Guy was pretty great. And, Deadpool and Wolverine looks ridiculous, but in the good way. So, like, there are worse hands to put it in, but there are not too many other better hands, I think, to put that movie into the hands of. Especially because they have a working relationship with him. And you notice the last two Avengers movies were made by the Russo brothers, who had already done 2 Marvel movies before that, before they were handed, Avengers. So that same, maybe that's the track record. You handled your business on this one movie, 1 or 2 movies we already did. Cool. You know how to handle, a couple $100 million or, $150, $200 million. You know how to make it work. And we like the way you tell your stories. And you can work within our system. All right, go make this thing and, make us $1 billion. So I think it's a big step up for him. It's a big opportunity. And obviously it probably means we're going to get Deadpool in Avengers 5. So maybe not the star, but he's going to show up, I think. So
yeah.
I want to keep an eye on this. So I definitely, if we get any confirmation about that, we're definitely going to talk about it. And hopefully we'll learn something about what Avengers 5 is all about, and we'll let you guys know all about it. So moving over to the Sony Spider-Verse, Lottie, Tom Hardy says, hey, Marvel Universe is doing, they're doing well with their Spider-Man. But guess what? We got a Spider-Man at Sony too. So that's what I couldn't find any more about this than that. Just that because he's talking up Venom. Venom 3 is coming out soonish. Actually, I guess it's not soonish, but it's October. But the first trailer just came out, all that stuff. So Lottie, he's saying they got a Spider-Man over at Sony right now. Who the fuck is it? Where the hell has he been? Where has he been hiding all this time? And maybe this is an indication that Venom, The Last Dance it's gonna somehow introduce this guy, because I think that there are some indications from that trailer that he's letting on about something that maybe the movie is hinting at. What do you think?
I, I I was just hoping. I was hoping that maybe that Tobey Maguire. Well, we know Tobey Maguire won't be in it, or at least Andrew Garfield would have been like at the end of the movie and be like, "Hey, I'm here to help," and he's like, "Who are you?" "I'm Spider Man."
No,
I was
no,
hoping for that.
it
But
wouldn't even be that. Who are you? I'm Spot, and then cut to
yeah,
the credits. Yeah,
yeah.
because that's the bullshit that Sony would do. But you know, we're going to talk about that. We are going to review the trailer right after this. But in the trailer, there are some interesting hints. For instance, do you remember at the end of Spider-Man: No Way Home?
hmm
And when the post credits was Tom Hardy was in the Marvel universe and he was back in the regular universe, and we saw him
Yeah,
talking to this guy at the bar, and he was just
yeah,
hanging out at the bar, and he's like, "Oh, Spider-Man, what's that?" And then he just disappears, and he leaves a bit of himself. He leaves a bit of the symbiote.
yeah.
That same guy is in this trailer, and the bit of the symbiote is waving around, and then Chiwetel Ejiofor's character traps it in some glass. All right, so that's
Oh
one.
shit.
So that's one. And look, I don't know what that means. Well, we're gonna find out. But that's one. Two. Later in the trailer, if you're Eddie Brock is in a van, they're out in the desert or on the highway, and in the van with them is Reese Ifans, who played the Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man. Was it one? Or was it one? Yeah, it was one. It was one. So he played Dr. Kurt Connors, aka Lizard. And I'm not saying that's him, because he apparently has two working arms. But I'm just saying, why would they get Reese funds to be in this movie and just to be some guy? Unless they're just trolling us. So there's two little tantalizing clues to the possibility that yes, this is in fact taking place in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. Which begs the question, the fuck has Spider-Man been this whole time? When obviously he couldn't be in Madam Web because, he hasn't been born yet. But where has he been when Eddie Brock's been running around dealing with, symbiotes? That's all I'm saying. Lottie,
It's really
am I
easy to
stretching
explain.
here? Am I stretching too much here though?
It's really easy to explain. Just have it that Venom was happened earlier in a timeline.
Then we have to find
Because
out what.
remember,
Yeah. Well, we
a
like. Well,
multiverse isn't just. Remember, a multiverse isn't just about different universes. It's also about timelines too.
yeah. I mean, that's true. Did he come back to the original timeline as his timeline changed? When that event happened.
Yeah,
Did that shit with Morbius and Vulture actually happen? I mean, to be if I'm being honest, they don't fucking know. They don't. The people at Sony don't fucking know. They don't know it. They're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. And fortunately for them, Venom is very sticky. Venom is like one of those little toys you used to play with when you were a kid. You just throw it on the wall and it sort of slowly oozes down the wall. That's what Venom is.
yeah.
I mean, so it'll work, but they don't fucking know. I don't believe it.
You're 100% correct. Sony doesn't know what the hell's going on. I I honestly don't even know what to say about it because, like you said, they don't know.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like, let let's just hope that it sticks. And I don't blame Sony for that. It's just I do. Well, I take that back. I do blame them for that because this could have been done a lot easier. You know, you could have had that Venom was happening in a different city. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's
I
taking
don't.
place in San Francisco, but like, this, I don't feel like ranting about Sony and how they fumble fucking everything, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, they actually definitively answer that, and that's not just Tom Hardy doing some fucking Andrew Garfield bullshit. So we'll see. We'll let you guys know if we get any more information. So, speaking of Venom, let's talk about that trailer for Venom: The Last Dance. Supposedly, is going to be the last time we see Tom Hardy as Venom. I keep seeing that, but like, I mean, maybe Tom Hardy's like, yeah, I don't need to do this shit anymore. I've had enough. Talking to myself too much. Either way, we did get a good look at the upcoming movie that's coming out in October. And Lottie, I gotta tell you, had a good time with that. I did a trailer reaction if you guys want to check it out on the channel, but like, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the story looks basic as fuck. If I do say so myself. But the truth is, every Venom's had a basic ass story. There's been none of the stories have been like, super, not even complex, just like anything beyond something that would have been cooked up in 2003. So it's going to live and die on the personality of Tom Hardy and all of the silly or, fantastical set pieces they put before him. And if that's the case, it's looking pretty good. Little fight. I don't know, Lottie, how you felt about that little fight with the drug dealers, but I thought that was pretty cool.
All I know is that one thing I gotta say about the movie, like you said, the premise of it is just basic and stupid. And why I say that is because they're like, Eddie, my people have found me. Bitch, they knew where you were since the first movie. What the fuck are you talking about? You're surprised? Like,
you guys, we got to remember something. Venom is not one of the elite. Venom is like, when it comes to his race, he was like punked by everybody. Like he left because everyone was putting down on him. It was so bad that the other symbiote that was on in the first one put down on him too, and only Eddie was basically like, we just got to kill this guy, and they managed it. But it's not like he overwhelmed the guy. He basically used the whole rocket ship against him.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, Venom but they're making out like, oh, because Toxin's in this too. You noticed that, right? The police officer that got the Venom bit of carnage into him.
Yeah.
He's like, as long as he's alive, everyone on this planet's in danger. Of course he is. Why would Sony? I need y'all to understand something. Well, y'all need a Feige or something. Y'all need a James Gunn to help y'all out. Everything can't be about the end of the motherfucking world. Like Marvel, they're learning this shit too. Everything can't be about the end of the goddamn world. Like, I get it. This is your last ride. Which, speaking of the last ride, that Venom horse was dope.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's talked about the entire trailer. He's like, he said, you think you could get it to do this? We'll see.
I really like that, especially because it was a callback to the first movie. Did you see the callback to the first movie?
What was the callback?
The callback was he's in the first movie he was on a motorcycle. Remember he jumped. He's in San Francisco, so he's flying down the street, and of course it's a steep hill. Jumps like basically at the crest of the hill, and he's falling away from the bike, and then Venom reaches out and pulls him back to the bike. So that whole thing with him falling and the Venom reaching out to bring him back is a callback to that, which I appreciated that. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So what I think Venom gets correct, and this trailer seems to be telling me this. It's whimsical, yes, but the writers seem to be cribbing from Deadpool a bit in a good way. They understand that this movie is really about Tom Hardy getting to play two characters that play off of each other. So they give him every opportunity possible to just kind of ad lib or really like just be the personality of the movie so that everything around him can be basic as shit. As long as you like seeing Tom Hardy and, you know, as long as you like seeing Eddie Brock and Venom basically do a two-man show, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then similarly with Deadpool, except that Deadpool had a more interesting story in the first two movies. You know, that they actually had more interesting stories, and you know, it's Wade talking to himself and being zany and shit like that. But there was a more, you know, emotionally connected movie in Deadpool. This doesn't look like that, as far as I can tell. But it looks fun.
No.
It looks really fun though.
At least, you know, I've always said that I miss the era of bad superhero movies that were entertaining. I miss that era. At least it might suck, but damn it, I was entertained watching it. You know what I mean? I miss that. At least give me that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that is what Venom is going to be, I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, like it looks like it's going to be for me in the sense that I'm not expecting Endgame. I'm not even expecting, you know, Iron Man 3, which I like. I contend is a pretty good movie. I'm not, and I'm definitely not expecting Thor: The Dark World or Iron Man 2. I expect it to be better than that. I just need it to be fun and entertaining, and you know, kind of close the trilogy out in a good way. Um, and they brought in Chiwetel Ejiofor, which is never a bad idea. You know, it's never a bad idea to have that guy, you know, on your screen as not a bad guy, just an antagonist. So there's a little bit of Incredible Hulk apparently in this too. It's pulling from all sorts of places, but that, to be fair, superhero movies do that all the fucking time. So I'm not even holding that against them. I like this trailer. I thought it was good. I'm interested in this movie. I was going to go see it anyway, but now I'm kind of anticipating it. So Lottie, you feel the same way?
I'll check it out. Like I said, I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I like you said, I like the original Venom movie. I'm like, with movie two. I hope this is better. You know, I just trying to understand. Is this just going to be Venom 1 all over again with just a bunch of symbiotes running all over the place? You know, if you're going to
I
do
hope
that,
so.
Spider-Man better be in this movie.
I'm just like, please make Venom Island or whatever that comic was, where everyone was just venomized. Please, I'm there for that. Make that happen. So we'll see. I'm sure we're probably not going to get another trailer for. Let's see, it's probably in another couple months we'll get another trailer. So we'll let you guys know.
Probably like August or September.
Yeah, something like that. So we'll let you guys know how we feel about that when it drops. So that's all of our news for this week. But you know what? Maybe we missed something. Maybe you have a comment or some kind of suggestion about what we were talking about. You just wanted to give us some feedback, whatever the case may be. Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram and on Threads, and it's super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you are doing all of that, get down there and hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast and all of the other content that we make. And of course, can't do this podcast by myself. Need my good friend Lottie with all of his insight about AI video games and of course superhero things. So Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
Well, you can always find me on my Instagram and YouTube, which are both conveniently named Anukinihun now. It's Anukinihun, Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun. You can always, like I said, you can always find me on there. I'm constantly making videos. I've been making videos lately that have been doing well on YouTube. So, but unfortunately, 99% of the people that watch my video are not subscribed. Please subscribe to me. I want to make money so I can start making these videos more often for you guys. So, if you, like I said, if you, doesn't take much. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
But Lottie, like the Joker said, it's not about the money.
It's not about the money.
We need to watch that again. I know you don't really like, but come on, Heath Ledger. But
I like the Dark Knight. I have nothing against the Dark Knight.
Just the other ones.
Yeah, the other ones.
Well, you guys, this has been episode 152 of the Supercast. Thanks for joining us this week. We do appreciate it. Go check out Blurred Force 1 and all of our other content. We're doing reaction videos and reviews, all that good stuff. We do appreciate you showing some love. So, till next week, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.